Todd ain't finished. Todd ain't finished. Maybe you come ready to go this next week.
How about those?
Are you ready for the best Kansas City Chiefs insight? Welcome to the Four Guys in a Bar podcast, presented by Chiefs Blitz and sponsored by Eric Haynes with the Eric Haynes Group. If you're looking for a real estate expert, call Eric Haynes today at 816-729-3785. That's 816-729-3785. Now, here is your Chiefs Blitz host, Nick Athan, with Lou Montagna, Tillman and Hense Todd.
Welcome back to the next edition of Four Guys in a Bar. I am your host, Nick Athan, alongside Mr. Hense Todd with Bowtie Sports. Check out his podcast, every The Cube. The Cube. Will the Cube ever be finished? You're going to have to wait and see till the end of the season. He's got a great show at 1 o'clock with Coach Dre on his YouTube channel at Bowtie Sports. Obviously, big loss yesterday to the Buffalo Bills. A lot of things to dissect now that we've had a little time. But before we get started, let's talk about our sponsors who make the wheels on the show go. First up, Mr. Eric Haynes with the Eric Haynes Real Estate Group. If you are looking for someone who can walk you through the process of buying or selling a house in the greater Kansas City metropolitan area, there's nobody better than Eric Haynes. He helped me and my wife, Emily, find our dream house. It took a while, 9 months, in fact, but we had a lot of ups and downs, and he was there for us and his team every step of the way. So call him right now if you've got a house that you want to buy or a house to list at 816-729-3785. You can email him at esaleskc@gmail.com.
Proud sponsor of Chief Who?
That is correct. The proud sponsor is my amazing wife, Emily Athan. It is the time to buy health insurance. Open enrollment ends on December 15th, so you still have about 3.5 weeks to decide on what the best plan is for you, whether that's a government option or if you want to learn more about a private option that Emily has available through United Healthcare. Give her a call today at 913-215-9086 and let her evaluate your current plan and see what options are out there for you. Remember, open enrollment closes December 15th. It's the best time to get health insurance for you and your family. Next up, Emily. Live here. We're live here on the Four Guys in a Bar podcast. Next up, our new sponsor, Resell Electronics.
Emily.
Buy a cell phone at Resell Electronics and save up to 25%. Our phones are pre-owned and in great condition. We carry top brands like iPhones and Samsung. Sell us your old phone and we'll offer you cash on the spot. Resell Electronics in Independence.
That's right. Resell Electronics, our new sponsor. 2 great locations in Independence, one on South Nolan Road, the other down on 40 Highway. So if you're looking for an opportunity to get your electronic needs filled, this is the place to go. They buy and sell all sorts of consumer electronics, anywhere from cell phones, tablets, laptops, game consoles, and so much more. Plus, Black Friday, the Chiefs will be playing at Arrowhead. So on your way out to the stadium, just go to Resell Electronics because they're going to have a massive sale. They have a lot of things discounted upwards of 20%, 10%, plus a raffle. So you definitely want to check them out on game day or before. That's it, guys. Thank you, Resell. We appreciate you very much. And we bring in the rest of the crew.
Resell.
Yeah, Resell. Rest of the crew. Coach Andre Tillman sporting his Arizona Cardinals top seed in the NFC West. Got a little easier yesterday after the upset of Seattle over San Francisco.
That's
and
right.
Of course, the other senior member, Lou Montagna. What's up, guys? You were in football heaven, Lou. You had games on all sides of you yesterday.
Absolutely. Pittsburgh, Buffalo, 1 o'clock window. Didn't disappoint. We'll be talking about some of these during the weekend 6-pack. But, it was a good day of football for the most part. Things could have gone a little differently in that 4 o'clock window, but here we are. We'll talk about it. Let's go. What do you guys think?
Well, my predictions was Buffalo wins anyway, so that's where I'm gonna stand at. That's where I'm gonna stand at.
We gotta bow.
Hey,
don't do this often.
Anymore. Buffalo wins in the
Thanks
regular
love,
season, and then I guess eventually in the playoffs it'll go the other way. Remains to be seen. But really good game. I mean, I guess for the fans, I think it was a good game in Buffalo. It was a great environment from what I could see. I think CBS hit it out of the park, and Josh Allen did his thing.
Yeah, listen, there's no shame in losing to the Buffalo Bills. The Chiefs just didn't have their A game, and I don't think they even had their B game. Had they had their B game, maybe the outcome's a little different. The Bills just outcoached the Chiefs. We'll talk a lot about this game coming up, but the 30,000 foot view is Josh Allen's a great player, and he took it upon himself to make sure that there was no chance for Patrick Mahomes to have a comeback. And I was sitting in the house of a whole bunch of Bills fans watching the game yesterday. We had some went to some family friends, and I'm going to be honest with you. Two things I noticed, and not only were there Bills fans there, but there were diehard Patriot fans there as well.
Oh, damn.
Wow.
And they just kept saying,
over there, damn.
They kept saying no lead is safe, no lead is safe. And when the Chiefs were up by 9, my buddy looked at me and goes, "It's not over." I said, "Dude, I don't think they're going to get 2 possessions in here." He goes, "It's Patrick Mahomes. Anything's possible." So the mad respect that they showed for the Chiefs and for Patrick Mahomes was pretty great. And actually, we had a really good time. So shout out to them for allowing
somewhere
us to
in America's heartland, there's a home full of Bills and Patriots fans.
Bills and Patriots fans. Yeah, it's a family,
wow.
And it was interesting. I mean, nice guys, the kind of guys that would be perfect in a bar. They were drinking their beer. They're just good old boys, and everybody had money on all sorts of different games, and it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed myself. So hey, to Bills Mafia, you deserved it. You deserved it. Congrats.
Let's get right into the into the 6-pack. What do you have?
Let's talk about Lou's.
Okay, quick drink of water before I prattle on here. Here we go, gang. We do this every Monday. The weekend 6-pack. Basically 6 observations, if you would. Some of these relate back to Factor Cap on Friday, and some don't. But again, you have that wonderful 6-pack of beer, plenty of cocktails, and then a plain pizza. God,
gluten-free.
Can we get some clip art with some toppings, man?
Nothing like a cheese pizza.
All right, so there plenty of great matchups yesterday. The first one we'll talk about was not one of them. So you have 2 organizations, 2 franchises that are diametrically opposed in the directions they're heading. The Lions, I mean, I labeled this perfection versus futility, because you got the Jacksonville coaches that seem like they've got one foot out the door already, and the Lions just keep figuring out ways to embarrass NFL teams on TV. 38 first downs, 645 total yards. That doesn't include return yards. That's passing and rushing. Okay, gang. Jared Goff, another perfect passer rating, 400 yards, 4 touchdowns. They scored touchdowns on 7 straight possessions against another NFL team. It might be difficult to do this on air in practice, okay? I don't know what this says about Detroit. I don't know what this says about the Jags, but just for one NFL team to do this to another NFL team, criminal. There was a crime that happened in Detroit.
Honestly, can we put some respect on Detroit? Like, enough with the excuses, if they are making excuses about Detroit, because they can beat you anyway, man. They can beat you anyway. They can run the ball on you, man. They can throw the ball on you, man. They can beat you with special teams. Let's just say Detroit are coached up pretty well. Let's
put the respect on Dan Campbell.
That's what I'm saying.
Because the way he comes off as this big, big hulking meathead that is just kind of rah. This guy is a pretty smart football dude. He played for Parcells. I mean, he learned under Sean Payton. I mean, he's at a master class, and then playing as a backup tight end. I mean, a lot of mental reps,
a lot of grit
with the Cowboys, and like I said, with learning under Parcells and Payton in a couple of different spots. So shout out to Detroit, and just DC. The fact that that was just an amazing beatdown. Like, again, 7 straight possessions with touchdown. Just
that's
ridiculous.
a goddamn Madden score. That's the Madden score, man.
I think they're gonna be one and done in the playoffs.
Oh, please. That's not going to
Hell
happen.
no.
They might. I mean,
Hell
you
no.
never know. But right now, they look awfully. They look
Who in the
awfully
NFC is
good.
going to beat them?
And done in the.
They're
Who in
kind
the,
of like
who
a
in the
well-oiled
NFC?
machine.
No. Who in the
Okay.
NFC is going to beat them, Hence? Give me one team that's going to beat them in the NFC.
That's a real question.
Hey, it probably be that surprise team that's right on that man's head.
Hey, don't do that. Don't you do that. Don't you
What
do that.
surprise
Don't you
team?
do that. Don't you do that.
It might be the surprise team, the Arizona Cardinals.
Don't you do that. Don't you do that. Don't you do that. Too much. It's too much already. Too much.
All right. Everybody's talking about Josh Allen today as the MVP. Jared Goff, 24 for 29, 412 yards, 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, 158.3 passer rating. That's the best. That's the best you can do. He's done that a couple times. I mean, he's on a heater. I mean, and then some games he doesn't really have to throw that much, so the numbers might be a little bit lower than, say, a Joe Burrow or some of these other quarterbacks. But I actually Burrow, because he leads the league in everything, it seems like.
Yeah.
But
He don't believe in his team, Ruben. He don't believe in his
And
own
their top
team.
running back only
we'll
had 75 yards rushing.
we'll see. Again, I'm not saying that this game all of a sudden puts them in a different light. I just thought it was just amazing.
Honestly, it does.
The numbers themselves are just ridiculous, and I think it speaks more to like the Jags just being completely
the
lifeless
Jags
right
are a
now.
disgrace in football.
So okay, so we go to Pittsburgh now.
All right.
And this was the most Steelers-Ravens game.
Come on with it.
It's the same
You
every
lived up to
time they play. This was the second game that the Steelers have won this year without scoring a touchdown.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Without scoring a touchdown. So Boswell, who, he's just one of these guys that labors almost like an anonymity, but he's like become like one of the greatest kickers in the league right now, with everybody else, it seems like, missing. But 6 for 6. He's in the elements, right? I mean, it was a beautiful day. I mean, there was no excuses. It was a great day.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, for all the talk of Russ being on this heater and whatever, it really wasn't Russ that got this done. It was primarily the defense, because Lamar had been putting up historical numbers coming towards this game. 16 for 33, 200 yards, 1 touchdown. Derrick Henry only had 65 yards rushing. It was his first fumble in like 500 touches.
Shout out to TJ Watt.
It was amazing just to watch it, because you're thinking, at some point they're going to score a touchdown, and Pittsburgh just can't get out of their own way when they get in the red zone.
Right.
But this was just once again, rinse and repeat. Steelers beating the Ravens in the regular season, and I was there for it. But did you guys get a chance to watch any of this?
Yeah, I did, and I was struck by Lamar Jackson. The 2-point play was a poorly designed play. I don't know if that's necessarily, I can blame that on him. He had a nice touchdown to Flowers to tie, to get him within 2 points, but he made a lot of mistakes in the game. And the Steelers defense, I mean, it's the best defense in the NFL, probably next to the Broncos.
I must say,
at this point,
I'm gonna say this, man. My takeaway from that game was just Derrick Henry fumbling first, man. They set the tone first. They set the tone, man, and that was it. I think what happened was at the end with Lamar Jackson, it was just the good defense, man. They forced Lamar Jackson to some tough throws, and that's how you do it. You force Lamar Jackson into becoming a playmaker.
Yeah, it was a lot. It almost reminded me of the AFC Championship game last year, where it's like, like the plan kind of changes, or they kind of get caught up in the moment, or maybe the Steelers got in their head somehow. I don't know, but
you're right, Ruben.
It really just seems like they kind of have their number. Now, obviously, they do play again. It's going to be near the end of the year. Probably going to either get Baltimore into the playoffs, or it might have something to do with winning the division. We'll see how Pittsburgh does down the rest of their schedule. But again, it was just, we kind of highlighted it on Friday, and if you like defense and like complimentary football, this was your game.
Yeah, this is
All
definitely
right.
a game.
One of the other ones. Now, again, it's not a
Those
huge
two
rivalry.
teams, those two teams are going to be one and done in the playoffs. Let's go.
Please.
Perhaps, but we're talking about yesterday's game. Okay, Hense is the future seeker. I mean, he's got the crystal ball here. All right,
so it's missing.
So it's the longest, I guess. I don't want to call it rivalry because it seems like the Packers win every time, no matter what. LaFleur has not lost to the Bears his entire career in Green Bay. I think it's like 11 in a row now. And somehow, some way, 2 weeks in a row, there's a walk-off blocked field goal. Now, credit to the Bears and Caleb Williams because they fired the OC. Thomas Brown comes in as the play caller, and it was just a week had passed, and Caleb looked comfortable. They looked like they were in rhythm. Now, they didn't score a ton of points, but he looked so much better than he did the last few weeks with Waldron. So I don't know, maybe they cut the call sheet down. I don't know what, but he got him in position for that game winner. And then Eberflus, in his infinite wisdom, decides we're close enough. Let's go ahead and kick it, which, you can argue that one way or the other. It was third down, and they decide, all right, we'll run the clock down, timeout, and we'll try the kick. It gets blocked. But I just thought that it was pretty neat to see Caleb actually be comfortable. But, of course, the I guess the more complete team, if you would, somehow makes the play when they needed to, and the team that usually loses these games found another way to lose. I mean, you lose on this, you lose on that Hail Mary, you could easily be 6-4, you're 4-6, and it just looks horrible for that franchise.
I think they were just comfortable. I think Caleb Williams, maybe you're right. Maybe the firing of the offensive coordinator, man, like with the intern coming in, put some more stability on that offense, man, because they did look good.
Yeah, and I think Hense probably would like Thomas Brown a little bit because he's getting all jacked up. Now, it would have been nice if he was on the sideline, right? Because then he could be right there with the players, but he's up in the booth. But when they made the one play, I mean, he was like whooping it up when Swift went for the 40-yarder around the left end. But
man, that was good though.
Yeah, Thomas Brown, former running back, Swift also UGA guy, so maybe that was why.
Shout out to Johnson. Johnson played a phenomenal game too. Roscoe Johnson played a phenomenal game too, man. He did.
Yeah, no,
kudos.
Hey,
Bears.
There's a Roshan Johnson, but that's okay. I like Roscoe better too.
Yeah.
We'll call
I'm gonna call him Roscoe then. I'm sorry. No disrespect to you, player. I'm gonna call you Roscoe.
All right. One of the other big matchups was Seattle going to San Francisco. And does anybody have more of a Jekyll and Hyde season than Geno Smith? I mean, the guy, they just can't get it going, right? I mean, it just seems like they can't put two great performances together in a row. And bottom line is, less than a minute to go, he takes him down the field, 12 seconds left. He runs it in himself. And this was just huge. We talk about the Cardinals being up in the West. They're 6-4. The rest of the division is 5-5. So that's just going to be a mad dash to the end. It's going to come down to all these intra-divisional matchups. So yeah, it's going to be a brawl all the way to the finish line. As bad as San Francisco has been, Geno has never beaten them. So this was a big first. But San Francisco just they can't seem to find things. Bosa gets hurt at the end, and McCaffrey has come back, but he's not quite himself yet. So
they're 5 they're bottom in the NFC West with a +28 differential.
Yeah, well, again, they're all 5-5. All
Let me ask you this.
Yeah, but they're technically their last place because they've lost all the tiebreakers with everybody else.
Do y'all believe that the NFL are starting to figure out Shanahan? You feel like the defense?
I think the Chiefs have figured him out twice. He's just gotten lucky that he still has a job.
I think with that, you got almost half the league running that offense now.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's not as unique as when you'd go play them. I mean, you've got McDaniel running a version of it in Miami. You've got McVay running a version of it in San Francisco. You've got O'Connell running a version of it in Minnesota. And there's others. I mean, other teams, LaFleur and Green Bay.
Yeah.
So it has proliferated a little bit. So again, it's not as big a surprise, right? I mean, in terms of or being different for that 1 week of preparation. You may have seen it once or twice during the course of the season. So
I said they wouldn't make the playoffs in the beginning of the year. Call Mango, get that clip.
They have to adjust, and there's still 7 games left, Nick. But yeah, let's do your touchdown dance now.
Yeah, no,
okay.
I do my touchdown dance now.
All right,
they're not making the playoffs.
Yeah,
Cardinals are going to win.
We're not spiking the ball at the 2-yard line.
Right.
Let's go.
Whatever.
All right. So in what bizarro world are we living now where it's like it's historic, where kickers are just drilling kicks left and right, 50-yarders are no problem, 60-yarders you're seeing made, and somehow, some way on the same day, Justin Tucker and Evan McPherson, 2 of the most accurate kickers in the league, both missed 2 field goals that could have made a huge difference in their respective games.
Facts.
It's been a curse on both of them since they played the Chiefs.
The Chiefs curse is real. I think it was Kelsey, but
we know what.
That whole thing. Karma's a biatch.
Hey, can we agree though? Can we agree like this year special teams been it had to share ups and it had to share downs, right? Because from block kicks, now from high level kickers are missing from 40. They're missing clutch kicks, man. It's like
it wasn't even so much clutch kicks. They were like a couple of them were early in the game. I mean, Tucker missed a couple in the first half.
That's what I'm talking about.
McPherson had 2 opportunities. Now you're not necessarily indoors
anymore.
But you might as well be indoors at SoFi. So
it's crazy.
No
block kicks and you miss it. Like he missed 2 of them.
Yeah.
2.
He's not McPherson anymore. He's McFlurry. So he's just firing away.
Yes, so
he's not that guy.
Man, like this
again,
year,
you don't get this in-depth analysis anywhere else on YouTube. So you need to watch this show to hear the McFlurry, whatever you want to call that. So all right. So a couple of like great kickers missing kicks, and they didn't cost their team the games, but they certainly hurt.
It cost the Bengals. Damn it! It cost my Bengals.
And then finally, I had one script written. I think Coach said it was a tale of 2 halves. One script written at halftime, and then I had to ball it up, and then I had to ball it up again. Because when it looked like, first off, Herbert looked like Superman the first half. I mean, the ball was coming off his hand so clean and so direct, and it was just beautiful to watch. And then all of a sudden it flips, and you're thinking, well, here we go. The Chargers are charging, and then they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, McPherson did certainly have a hand in it. But I think just the fact this is where you see, and you see it a lot of other places, but this was a huge example of what an adult and head coach and being an elite head coach.
Did you say an adult
can do for a team? Yes, absolutely.
An adult head coach, but
I told you.
A championship head coach.
Exactly.
He is legit. He will win a Super Bowl.
There's no charging last night. Now the Bengals had their opportunities, but they could not get it done. And whatever Burrow was able to do and not do, I mean, you got to give him all the credit in the world, because he took a beating and was still chucking it.
Yeah, I felt sorry for him. I rarely feel sorry for Joe Burrow, but I'm going to be honest with you. That picture of him walking down the tunnel after the game, he's like going, "What more do I have to do?" This is kind of like Mahomes. This is like with Mahomes when he threw those 50 touchdowns. His defense was horrible, and he just kept finding a way. And even in the championship game,
he don't feel sorry for those zebras.
Hold on, let me make my point. You guys have said plenty.
Go ahead, Nick. Go ahead.
I'm trying to be magnanimous here, Just trying to be magnanimous. I feel sorry for him, but this is the doing of ownership of Cincinnati, who will never pay the money to build an all-around team that can compete every year. They got their quarterback. They got him on a good deal. They're going to get stadium improvements, all based on the fact, and with county government and state funding. So listen, I feel bad for the kid. He deserves better, but no Higgins next year, and very likely no Chase next year. And it's going to be interesting to see how he evolves into how well he can change his game to adapt with whatever the Bengals give him.
Well, not to get too far in the weeds, I don't see Chase going anywhere. I think part of letting T. Higgins walk is going to be because they're going to pay Chase.
He's not going to stay there. He will not stay there.
The amazing thing to me, though, is just how and again they've lost some players, but how the defense has gone from being so good to being not that good. But again, the second half, they came out of halftime and played. They did like a 180.
They did.
Now,
right.
You've got I guess the leading passer in yardage and touchdowns. You've got the leading receiver in catches, yards, and touchdowns. You've got the league leader in sacks.
Yep.
And T. Higgins on top of that.
Yeah.
But somehow, some way, it's just not,
man.
It's not meshing for them. And so anyway, the Chargers, bottom line though, with the sixth pack, the Chargers didn't charge her. So
good for that.
Hats off to Jim Harbaugh and Justin Herbert.
Hey, real quick for Nick cut me off. Now, have y'all noticed though, every time a defensive player mishandle an interception or a game-changing defensive play, it always goes the other way. I said, when Hilton dropped that interception, I said, it's over. Chargers got it. For some reason, when that happens in a clutch moment, the opposite team wins, man. I said, shit.
A lot of people what got lost in there is, number 15. I keep on forgetting his name. The kid from Georgia.
Lad McConkey.
He balled out that game.
Yeah,
he was carving up that defense, making the Bengals look like zebra out there.
Hey, it was a clutch.
Here's one for Hens. Imagine him in a Chiefs uniform.
Yeah.
Hey, no, I stayed there earlier before the season. I said y'all would have got him a route runner. But listen, Nick, this for you, Nick.
All right,
Herbert is healthy. Hey, Herbert is healthy now.
Yes.
Ankle's fine. Do you see how explosive he was?
For 2 quarters in the last drive, he was best player on the field.
Oh, he's running. He's scary, bro. The Chargers 7-3 now.
Okay, you keep discounting this. I'm telling you. The Jim Harbaugh hire was brilliant.
Yeah.
He's got a 5-year contract. Definitely. He's gonna coach till he's 65. He will get the Chargers to a Super Bowl. They will probably win it because he's gonna scheme up a way to get it done. He believes in Herbert. He has all the confidence. I don't have any mute buttons for you, but just a second here.
Well,
this is the Herbert that we all expected to see.
Yeah.
And this is the Herbert that is going to challenge the Chiefs, whether it be this year or next year, for the division title. Probably next year. Give this team a year to get it fully adapted, and they need to make some personnel changes. But once they do, the Chiefs and the Broncos and the Chargers, this is going to become one of the best divisions in football again.
Hey, Bo Nix, shout out to Bo Nix too. Go ahead.
That's
why I said the Broncos.
There was a lot of this talent was still there, right?
Look at bench Mahomes.
When he came in, and when they let Mike Williams go, they let Keenan Allen go, like they're wide receivers. It was like, oh, geez, they got to take Malik Neighbors. They got to take Marvin Harrison Jr. if he falls to them in the draft. And you're thinking it's Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah. No,
they're not going to do that. They take the generational tackle that coming out in Joe Alt.
Yep.
And this is what we're going to do. Reclamation project with J.K. Dobbins and bringing in Gus Edwards, both guys former Ravens that played for his brother. Obviously, Jesse Minter, the defensive coordinator that he brings from Michigan. So the entire mentality has changed within that building. The big emphasis on just strength and conditioning. If you see that new facility that they built, the Bolt, they showed it last night during the game. It's amazing. And that was a big part of his offseason program. They got to be bigger. They got to be stronger. They got to be better fit. So yeah, Jim Harbaugh is he's going to get him there. It's just a matter of when. So
yep, it's going to happen.
So anyway, that's going to do it for this week's six pack. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you didn't drink too much.
It's gluten free.
Pizza is plain, but yeah. So for those of you, would that be vegan there, Coach? Is that?
I think
that's
vegan? Good old fashioned
either way it goes. You're not going to gain weight from it.
Remember, in the bar, it's just filler food. It's just filler
this
food.
Six pack brought to you by no one in particular. We're still open for business. Somebody out there, please send us like $5. We'll put your name up there.
I like that.
And you can be the sponsor of this here segment every Monday on Four Guys in a Bar.
Nice job, Lou. Appreciate that very much. A lot of thought goes into this show, guys. So he applaud to Lou for bringing us 6 topics that fueled our weekend, because we all love the NFL. That's for sure.
You goddamn right.
That's right.
So with that said, let's get right into our sponsor before we get into the main segment.
All right, let's do it. First up, let's talk about my good friend, Mr. Eric Haynes with the Eric Haynes Real Estate Group. If you're looking for someone who can help you buy or sell a house in the greater Kansas City metropolitan area, give Eric Haynes a call at 816-729-3785. He will make sure that you get the right deal, the best deal for you and your family. He took a hands-on approach with me and Emily, and he made sure that we got our house. And it was a long process. It was difficult, but he answered every call, answered every text, and kept telling us, relax. He and his team were great. So if you want the same experience, call him right now. Check out what listings he has, 816-729-3785. You can email him at esaleskc@gmail.com.
Proud sponsor of Chief.
That's right. Another proud sponsor is my amazing wife, Emily Athan. It is open enrollment time. If you're looking for flexible health coverage, if you're looking for a better option for you, your family, or if you're self-employed, have a small business, whatever it might be, give her a call today and let her evaluate your current plan. See if a government option is the best source, or check out her private option that's got available through United Healthcare. So call her today at 913-215-9086.
Emily.
That's right. Coming up, our new sponsor, Resell Electronics.
Emily.
Get the best deals on new and used electronics at Resell Electronics. TVs, laptops, Apple Watches, cameras, cell phones, plus so much more. And if you're into gaming, we carry new gen as well as vintage consoles. Resell Electronics in Independence.
That's right. Resell Electronics is your number one source for buying and selling consumer electronics. If you got something to sell, they'll give you cash. If you're looking to buy something for the holidays, this is the place where you're going to get discounts upwards of 10 to 25% less than you can find anywhere else. They have 2 great locations, 1214A South Nolan Road and the other one down on 40 Highway, both in Independence. So give them a call today at 816-886-7285. And remember, they got a blowout sale going on Black Friday. So on your way to the Chiefs game, check out the store and get whatever electronics you need for either the game day experience or at home. Check out their website at resellelectronics.com.
Resell.
Love it.
Let's get right into the show big topics.
Let's do it.
Panic in the Chiefs Kingdom? Is it panic in the Chiefs Kingdom from the Chiefs losing to the Buffalo Bills? Lou.
I'm sure there's a percentage of the kingdom that's ready to just wipe everything out. Get rid of them all. They can't do a damn thing. Yeah, this is ugly. We can't score. We can't do this. We can't do that. So maybe there are. In terms of the team, no, the team's not panicking at all. That's one game. I think they lost 6 last year. Now, is there reason for concern over certain few things? And I would say probably, yeah. I mean, still the pass protection is kind of concerning, I would say.
It's crap.
I would say, and I think it all kind of marries together because my note was that Patrick is human. Okay. No matter what anybody thinks, he is a human being. So after, things kind of close in on you on a regular basis, you're going to start to feel that even before it starts to happen. You might start looking at the rush a little bit. Are you missing an open receiver here and there? Probably. So then when he does have an opportunity to throw it, maybe he takes a chance when he shouldn't,
right?
AKA the first one that he tried, 50 shades wide open, but when he got hit, the ball sailed. But anyway, I would think that there might be some panic on certain parts of the kingdom, those that I think are more a fan of winning than they are a fan of the Chiefs.
Right.
As long as they're winning, then we're good. But as soon as they lose a game, then it's like pitchforks and torches. Let's go.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Nick.
Go ahead. I think Ken makes a good point. The Bills are good. That's part of the explanation. And, it's true. I mean, the Bills have now won 5 straight. They go to their bye week. The toughest part of the schedule is 25% done. They beat the Chiefs, but they've got to play the 49ers at home, and we don't know which 49ers team is going to show up. And then they're back-to-back road games at Rams and Lions. So counting their bye week, the next 4 weeks where the Chiefs play, let's see, the Panthers, Chargers at home, Raiders at home, and then they go to Cleveland in that same stretch. That's when we're going to know where the number 1 seed stands in the AFC. I don't think anybody else can catch them. I don't think the Steelers can. I don't think the Ravens can. But if there's panic because they're not playing at a better level of football. They're not doing some of the things that they've done in the past, and a lot of that is the quarterback is under siege, and he's just not able to have enough time in the pocket. That's on the tackles. We knew going into the year, just like last year, the receivers were the Achilles heel. But both tackles are the Achilles heel this year. So how does Patrick Mahomes overcome that? How does Andy Reid do that? Got to run the rock. When they run the rock, that usually creates more time. He did 38% of his snaps were play action. So I think a better plan might have had a better outcome, but I think the Bills are going to win this game no matter what. Josh Allen had the attitude, it doesn't matter. I'm going to win it no matter what. And if there's panic in the streets in Kansas City, and I've seen a lot of it this morning or this afternoon too, they're 9-1. They're still atop the AFC. They take care of business in Carolina. They'll have a 1-game lead, and then we'll see what happens over the next 3 weeks. But, they have some stuff to fix, and I think they'll fix it. And remember, it's November 18th. The Super Bowl is until February 13th or 12th or 15th or whatever, or February. And it's just like the Chiefs are going to be there.
But it isn't an invitational, right?
It is an invitational because that's the mentality the Chiefs have once it gets to December.
But they do have to earn their way there.
The people have to earn their way there. The Chiefs will earn their way there. And even if they have to go on the road, they'll still win. This is still the team to beat to get to the Super Bowl in the AFC. Until somebody dethrones them, this is the way it's going to be, and this is the expectation.
I think that's whack. I think the Chiefs play horrible. They've been playing like this for 9 straight games with 10 straight games. Like I said, it's a lot of good quarterbacks that the Chiefs have faced that came down to the wire, and the Chiefs executed down stretch with the luck of the NFL gods. It's panic because the tackles stink. The tackles stink. Mahomes is 15 for 11. Nah, we ain't gonna make no excuses, man. Mahomes is not reading the defense as well. He's not. You overthrowing certain players. Kelsey been wide open. Worthy been wide open. I mean, come on now. The Chiefs, is panic in the room because they cannot protect Patrick Mahomes. They can't protect him. So part of that is because Mahomes is panicking. And another part of it is Mahomes is making boneheaded plays. That's just simple as that. It's like there is panic. And then on top of that, watching that game, Josh Allen didn't get he didn't get hit one time.
There's no pass rush. You're right.
Not one sack.
Charles Omenihu hopefully will fix that when he comes back either this week or next week.
Come on, going to the playoffs, it's a panic because if you go against teams with that has a good offensive line, they're going to lose. They're going to lose. You know what I'm saying? It's it's panic. The Chiefs has to fix that because right now, this game yesterday is unacceptable. I don't care who it is. Josh Allen's good. Joe Burrow's good. Lamar Jackson's good.
They didn't get run out of the building.
Right.
So I don't know that we can go as far as to say it's unacceptable. And I think, I don't know if one of the wide receivers can negotiate the 53 1/3 yards that the field is wide, or kind of understand where you are in the field. You're a professional wide receiver. Now, again, you can say what you want about the pass, but you got to drag your feet there. I mean, there's no excuse for that.
It is. Listen, honestly.
So you have plays like that, and now if he makes that play, now all of a sudden, the offense is well over 300 yards. Everything. Maybe that drive turns into points. So it's not just a one-person thing. There's a lot that goes into a loss, and you can point at a lot of different places.
What it is though, Lou, it's plain as day. The Chiefs offensively are bad. They just patching stuff up. They're bad offensively for real.
Right.
Like I don't have faith. I do not have faith in the Kansas City Chiefs at all. I don't have faith in them because they panic. Mahomes panic. This is not the Mahomes we've seen from past years. This Mahomes, to me, he panics under pressure right now. You overthrowing guys right now.
That is
true.
Come on. Well, I don't know. I didn't see. Well, the one where he got hit, that was probably a bad decision because it was so early in the game. You don't have to make that play. It wasn't third down. Like, I'll just chuck it down there. Hey, if they intercept it, it's like a punt. So that was probably a questionable decision. But in terms of him panicking or making a lot of bad throws, it's usually when he's being hit or he's running away from pressure. Now, again, he's still a little gimpy on the one leg that he hurt, and we saw him, kind of hobble off the field at one time. So he is maybe a quarter of a step slow. He wasn't that fast to begin with, so some of his escapability is a little off. Not making any excuses, but that's going to impact things. But in terms of just the offense, it took a long time last year for them to kind of figure it out because they had to have like a rookie lead them. They need to have one of these guys has to be a threat to the defense. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if that's going to be D-Hop, if and when
that's
Hollywood
what I was hoping for with D-Hop. I'm like, come on.
If and when Hollywood comes back, maybe he becomes that guy because Worthy could become that guy. It looks like they were intentional in getting him rolling in the first half.
Yeah, but they stopped in the second half.
And then he makes that play where you think in the Tampa game he would have learned that from being so close to the sideline, understanding where you're at. That's why I go back to Aaron Rodgers and he's talking about that red line. It's on every practice field in the NFL. It's there to give the wide receivers so they can practice knowing how much room they have. And if you have that muscle memory of where that red line is and you're between it now and the sideline, I don't care where you catch the ball, drag your feet.
Right.
Because there's a good chance you're going to go out of bounds.
So again,
there's no question.
I get what you're saying. Hold on, Nick. I get what you're saying, though, but the Achilles heel in the room is Patrick Mahomes is playing bad. He's playing bad because even in Tampa Bay game in overtime, you almost threw 2 picks in overtime. That's on Patrick Mahomes.
Let's go to the video footage. Was it Worthy fault or Patrick Mahomes' fault? We're gonna look at it here. Worthy and Patrick Mahomes is Worthy come out to the side. Is that over throwing to the sideline? Is that
he's throwing it yards away from him? He's drifting him toward the sidelines when there's no reason to. This is the same problem he had.
Hence, was it a perfect throw? No, but he
had time to throw.
He certainly was a little too nonchalant going to get the ball. He could have
those all season.
I'm telling you right now, somehow D-Hop was able to get himself that wide open and he was that close to the sideline. There's no question he's getting his feet down. And again, rookie, you can say what you will, and you got to give it to him. Not enough time on task with the quarterback, whatever it is. He's got to figure out.
Lights out. The kid played lights out.
You can
in the first half he did, and that was
you
it.
Can
throw the ball inside,
hit him open. You got to finish that.
So Nick, you are saying that Patrick Mahomes overthrew the ball.
I'm saying that Patrick Mahomes guided him toward the sidelines, just like he did
in
the Broncos game, and that's got to stop. He's done that multiple times to this kid.
That's what I'm saying.
He was lights out. That hit he took on that long first down catch was phenomenal, and he got right up. I mean, Mahomes has got plenty of time here. He steps up. He's just guiding him the wrong way. And here's the problem with Worthy. For such a little guy, he's got massive strides. And if you watch him run, and what he's got to learn to do is to slow down when he gets near the sideline, catch the ball, make sure you get your feet in bounds. He has to adjust to the ball. Now, it's on him, too. Catchable balls that,
as a professional wide receiver,
right.
It's your job
to
make your quarterback right.
Right.
Because there's going to be plenty of times where he is accurate and maybe you drop it or something else happens. So in the case where the quarterback might be a little bit off, you do your damnedest to make sure it's a good play. And
maybe let me make one more point.
A better throw, and maybe he scores. But on that throw, he still, catches the ball 40 yards downfield, first down, and
then again, Nick.
Here's the problem I had was Mahomes had Worthy open at least 3 or 4 times that I could see in the second half and didn't target him once. Deep passes. And if he'd have had the proper time in the pocket to look around, but the fact that he wasn't looking at him first, knowing he was getting open almost every snap. The Bills had no defense for him deep. They didn't have the safeties. They didn't have the corners. They didn't have the scheme because they were so worried about D-Hop and they're so worried about Kelsey. Mahomes has to take advantage of it. And, that's the problem that this offense has. We all knock Worthy because of his size, and we all say he's a straight line player. He's not. He is definitely somebody who, if given the chance, is going to go out there and make plays. And Patrick's job as throwing to a rookie receiver is to put him in the best position possible to be able to make those long completions happen. And Mahomes is not doing that. When Mahomes is throwing on his back foot and he's throwing the ball toward the sidelines, any receiver is going to drift. And yes, Worthy, learn how to drag your feet. Spend all week after practice with DeAndre Hopkins and let him show you the proper technique. If he slows down, this is the catch. His long strides, these are all things he's going to learn. But I'm telling you right now, there is no team that can defend Worthy if Patrick Mahomes is throwing the ball to him deep. And if that happens, it opens up everything else in the offense.
Right.
And that has to be their number one focus.
It starts with 74 and 64.
I know that.
If you notice on that play, they don't have all 5 eligibles out. I think Kelsey stayed in on that one, which is good because you have to there. And I guess that goes into the play calling as well. They're calling plays to protect those tackles as well.
Then do it more often.
Well, you can't. I mean, there's only so many times you can put 2 or 3 receivers out in the pattern and you get somebody open. I mean, eventually you're going to have to let those guys get out and challenge the defense because you're going to get, you're just going to get stale in that. Yeah. Then teams get a beat on you.
That has to be the number one thing they work on in this offense.
Bottom line is, again, Patrick could have been more accurate, but you're a professional wide receiver in the NFL. You got to make that play. Again, maybe it's not perfect and you don't score, but you make your quarterback right by catching that ball, get your feet in, and move on. So he'll learn. Again, like Coach Reed said, he'll learn from this. You would have hoped he would have learned from after the Tampa debacle or that play, but we'll see.
I agree with Lou. As a wide receiver, you should. It don't matter the ball in your surrender area. You should always catch the ball, and he should have dragged his feet there.
I agree.
Either way.
Man, I don't mean to drag his foot. It was a bad throw. Like, wow.
No. I'm not going to go. I'm not going there. He still had plenty of time to drag his foot.
Okay, it wasn't the best throw. It wasn't 100% dead accurate. But he didn't sail it out of bounds either.
Yeah. Right.
All right.
Enough on this topic. We've beaten it to death.
Why did he abandon the run game, Drake?
No, why they? Because I'm gonna tell you what happened. Josh Allen was not getting pressured at all, for real, man. And he was throwing the ball at will when he wanted to. You know what I'm saying? Because here's the thing: is the Buffalo Bills control the clock. They control this game with time of possession. They control this game, and they was moving the ball at will. So what happened was the Chiefs panicked. I'm not gonna say they panicked. They couldn't control the time because they was ahead, but they didn't have control of the game, right? They didn't have full control of the game, so they couldn't do that. They couldn't keep going to that 14-man personnel, right? They couldn't do it, right? So that's what happened. So now, me looking at the defensive front, y'all didn't get no pressure on Josh Allen. And what happened? Number 13 got exposed. Johnson, right? I believe Johnson, right? Was getting exposed. I mean, kept getting exposed. I was like, okay, here we go. Then Cook was getting exposed. So that's what I'm saying. That's why, to me, that style that the Kansas Chiefs plays, it only works when you're ahead and when you're dominating. And the Chiefs didn't dominate up front.
But that's the thing. They've done this in games that they've been behind. They just went back to the run game, and that's what shocked me. I mean, they did this in the Bucs game. They started running the ball when they were behind. They were down 7 points, and they were just feeding it to Hunt. And, there was a lot of good lanes. And I think for me, if the Chiefs had focused more on the run game, maybe it gives the tackles a little bit more confidence in pass blocking to go out there and do some smash mouth football, hit people, use your strength, and then have to focus on the pass protection. So, Andy said it yesterday, and he also said it today in his weekly chat with media. He probably could have called more run plays. And listen, if nothing else, give your defense a breather and have confidence that your guys up front who do run blocking very well can continue to be successful. Give Steele the ball. Just give it to Hunt. Just go out and try and get 10, 12, 13 yards on 2 or 3 downs and demoralize the defense, and then pop them for a play action pass when they're not expecting it or when they think the Chiefs are going to keep running. So listen, Isaiah Pacheco coming back is going to help. The rumor is he'll be available Sunday. Not sure that they're going to actually play him until the following week against the Raiders. But, then they have to focus on run first, run second, pass third, and then mix it up after that and see what happens.
Yeah, well, it's pretty much Coach Reed being on brand for his entire career. I mean, that's been the knock on him, forever, is he doesn't hang with the run game enough. Now, I think the bigger upset was when in the Tampa game when he stuck with it as long as he did.
Right.
And it was like, wow, this is different. And maybe it was just situationally because of the way the Bucs were playing them.
But it worked. It worked against the Bills.
Right.
I think Andy Reid is not really familiar. He doesn't really like running the ball like that, though. He want to throw the ball.
Well, he's typically going to be a 60-40 guy passing the ball. I mean, that's just – that goes back to BYU, Lavelle Edwards, Holmgren, the short passing. I mean, that's in his DNA. That's never going to change.
Right.
But, to get in his head, who knows why he stopped. That's just kind of the way he rolls. And – I guess the other part of it is you're taking it out of Patrick's hands. Now, according to Coach, that might be a good thing because evidently he's forgotten how to play quarterback.
Bingo.
But
that's most people.
But again, he's going to stay on brand, and that's just the way they're going to play. And that you just have, as a fan, you just have to accept it. That's just the way they play.
Right.
I'll say with the reason he got away from it because, like Drake said, I agree with that. If the offense on the other side is, going on the field at will, what you going to do? And anyway, the other way around, he could have slowed the game down and gave his defense a break, like Nick said. But again,
it was a one-score game most of the way.
But
until the very end, so it didn't seem like time was going to be a huge factor until.
But if they playing 2 safety high, run the ball. They backing all the way up there.
Yeah, they are back. They backed up.
I don't know because the Bills are pretty much a zone team, but they played an awful lot of man-to-man from what I was looking at. So
they changed it up,
they were thinking because on a couple of those were like Jude. They came on that kind of that scissors concept, and Juju kind of knocked the guy out, and the receiver, the other receiver came wide open. They hit him, and I think that was worthy on the one play. So I was a little surprised that the Bills were playing so much man-to-man. So. That could have factored into the play calling as well.
It's crazy real quick. The Chiefs are number 1 in time of possession, right? And then the Buffalo Bills are 3rd in time of possession. So it kind of played in that game. I was like, well,
that was the difference in the game. And that's why I think maybe the defense didn't look as good as they normally do, is because they were on the field so much more.
Gassed.
I think it was 30. I think it was like 34 minutes to 26 minutes time of possession, 34 where the Chiefs are used to having that like completely the other way around, where the defense is a little fresher. So, and it plays into it. The Bills were able to run the ball a little bit, not great, but enough.
Yeah.
And then just the fact that talking about the game plan against Allen, it was interesting.
Yeah.
I'm not sure on that last play that he scored if any of the linebackers were spying him on that play.
Exactly.
There were three missed opportunities.
I think they were maybe looking at something else, because as soon as you see Allen break like he's going to run, you can see Drew kind of go with his man over to the sideline rather than go make a play on the quarterback.
Yeah, that's not where the play was lost.
Because no, but I'm saying, but he's
right here. Stop. Right there. Karlaftis goes outside.
There was a bunch of missed tackles here.
No. He spread so wide. Look at how far off he is he's way too off. Had he got inside, he blocks the lane. Tranquil comes up, and that's a loss.
Yeah.
Look at
Drew. Roll it back a few frames, Hense, and look at when Drew is along the hash. He has a choice there. Am I staying with the receiver, or am I going for the ball? And if he had that back, he'd be the first one to tell you, I should have gone for the ball.
You know, it's crazy, guys.
If he makes that pass, God bless him, whatever, but I'm going. It would have been
a first down with 2 timeouts and a 2-minute warning.
Guys,
so this is where
it's coming up on him. So I don't know. Again, it would have been a much better chance than what he ended up doing.
Karlaftis has got to learn to go inside. You got to go inside. He was beaten so bad Sunday they constantly kicked him out. And you have to learn at some point. They know you're going to go outside. You got to contain Allen in the backfield. The fact that Spags didn't do an all-out blitz.
But if he's being coached,
I know
when they
that.
talk about maintain their lane integrity, if he spins to the inside, Allen's out the gate.
But Tranquil's coming up, and the corner's coming up, and maybe he's 10 yards behind the line of gain that he needed at that point. Right. So you got 10 yards to make up the distance.
Yeah, I mean, he could have played that much better, and everybody could have played it better.
And the fact
and like
that they
I
just
said,
didn't blitz on that play makes no sense to me.
Drew had a split-second choice. He chose to go with the receiver, which isn't a bad choice. But
you can't leave those gaps open. It's one thing if Allen goes. Allen's bread and butter running is going between the guard and the tackle. Happens every game. You can look at all the games that he's played. He is not a guy who breaks outside and rushes generally. He goes because he knows that his tackle is going to kick the guy out, and he's going to create that space between the guard, and that's his lane. The Chiefs didn't account for that. Drew Tranquil could have come up at that point. Pennell didn't have enough time to roll over. But if Karlaftis goes inside, if nothing more than to block the tackle into that lane, look, there are plenty of guys that could have come up and made this play. But the worst part is the excuse tackling down the field.
Well, the offensive
line looked good too, though.
The only thing I would say about George is maybe he came off of the tackle a little late, because I think he was maintaining that outside lane to contain him, to keep him in the middle of the field. When he spun off, he just missed him. I mean, if he spins a little quicker, a little earlier,
Yeah.
But again, he has to be able to see, okay, he's going to run now. He has to actually see it. He sees it maybe a quarter of a beat late. He spins and he just gets his hands on him. You have to be there in plenty of time, wrap him up. And even then you may not get him because he's such a big.
But it would have slowed him down with 10 yards to go to get the first down.
My case on this, I rate the Spaz game. I give it a
from where he was in the pocket.
I give it a D- because if I'm Spags, I'm taking out Cook. Cook was giving a lot of big plays, missing big tackles, missing big hits on 2 Cook runs that ran into for a touchdown. Also that last touchdown, a lot of people ain't looking at it. Is you look, pause it. If I get back to it, I'm gonna pause it where it can get to where the hard safety, where you can see that Cook had the angle on him if he just came down and played safety. He just stayed in the backfield and watched. Look at him in the back. Look at number 6. Put your eyes on him, and you watch what he do. And everybody know he's coming out the pockets. No wide receiver is coming across there. Ain't no wide receiver to cover there. You see him taking off running with the ball, so you come down and take the angle. He just stood all the way in the back and just looked at him run across the field and ran in for a touchdown. Yeah. So I don't know what you guys are watching. I know what I'm watching. I used to play this game.
Let me say this real quick. Can we give credit to the Bills offensive line because they did a great job, and also remember I said he was spreading the ball around. He wasn't getting no pressure all game because now they was worried about the pass. Now you got to figure he's going to run the ball because remember he ran when he have to run, and that's the power of what the Bills like to do, man. Like he spread the ball around so much.
The only thing I would say about Cook on that play, he's got the middle of the field. So if there's receivers running,
let's look at this again.
They're all jammed up and they're all covered.
Okay, so
so you got to take that tackle there. I used to play this game, man. I got rings doing this. I'm trying to tell you, man. Like if you playing this game, you got to come down and tackle that. You can't just sit back there and watch in the backfield, right or wrong, Dre.
So,
you can't just sit back there and watch.
All due respect to you playing Hense, I'm sure you were a great player. But if you're looking at playing at this level, this kid has been on the team for a couple of years. They coach him, they put him in camp. To you, being the expert, why do you think the coaches keep rolling him out there if he's playing this poorly?
Okay, look at this. Okay, look at his eyes. He's looking into the backfield. Right. Okay. Everybody like
he should be following Allen.
Right. He should be following Allen. Look at that. Look. Right. He knows it's a run now. So he took towards the ball.
So yeah, you could say he took a couple of false steps and that killed him. He's probably thinking that there's no way that he's going to make it. That I mean, I'm guessing that somebody's going to get him way before.
So
every defense has rules, right? So if that's his responsibility as the receivers on that side of the field, of course he's going to cheat that way. I don't know. I don't know what the defensive call was. I hear what you're saying instinctually. Well, you see the guy taking off. That guy's really, really fast too. Now Cook is fast. Cook is fast as well.
I'll make it easy for you. What do you think Eric Berry did in that situation?
Wow.
What do you think Tyrann Mathieu did in that situation? What do you think all these other top safeties did in that situation?
Neither of those guys were in uniform on Sunday on the sideline. And so that's not going to, I hear you, and you're talking about, potential Hall of Fame type players.
Safety is going to be a big concern. Safety is going to be a big issue in the NFL draft.
So we'll see. I mean, I don't know. I'd like to, maybe Spags will, when he talks on Thursday, if somebody asks him that question, where's Cook supposed to be on that? But it looked like he took maybe a false step to his right.
Let's make this point very clear. The Bills made the play. Allen made the play.
I'm gonna tell you,
he took advantage of the situation, and he did what he's supposed to do. Credit to him.
Let me get my 2 cents real quick. I'm gonna piggyback on what you just said. Now, remember I said the offensive line was playing incredible for the Bills. The cornerbacks, the DBs was not playing good for real. The DBs really was not playing good. Johnson was getting beat. So now you put Cook in the back because you scared Johnson's gonna get beat again. Now again, this wasn't
even covering his side of the field.
Listen. Here's the thing. Here's the thing is. There wasn't really thinking about Josh Allen at the time because he was like, okay, he's getting these plays off at will. We right into the red zone. So now it's like we know Josh Allen's going to run, but we're not really worrying about him running right now because our DBs is kind of like getting cooked a little bit. So he was like, okay, let him play back. Then the man just took off. He just took off, so you can't.
Coach, as a coach, what did you teach of your boys, the guys that play in the backfield? You the safety, you the quarterback of the back end. You back end. You see this. You run towards the ball.
No, listen though. I get what you're saying, but again, the defensive front, the defensive front did not play well at all. Too.
Maybe if he gets to Allen, he doesn't score, but he certainly got the first down. And now they can control the clock and win the game. They may not even have to kick the field goal or score or anything.
Well, they had 2 timeouts.
I agree with you. He could have played it better, but from where he was, there was no way he was going to get to the line of scrimmage that quickly.
Let's be clear. The Chiefs are 9-1, and
we can still talk
Allen
about
made the play. All right, next question. Should Andy Reid give Ethan Driscoll a shot at left tackle this week?
I don't know. Another rookie, undrafted.
Big guy. Pull another rookie out there, man.
A lot of potential. For those of you, For those of you that have followed the show, going back to like January, like the end of January, Senior Bowl week, we had talked about him and with the week that he was having at the Senior Bowl, and like he was getting some buzz. Now he didn't get drafted for some reason, and it's probably just I think a lot of teams probably think he's too tall because he's like 6'8" or 6'9". I mean, this is a big dude.
Start him.
Can he move laterally? Is he quick enough for the NFL game?
Put your hands on him.
We saw some of that in the preseason. He looked pretty good.
Quick enough to play, Marcia. But again, that's summer football, and we know how that goes once these guys come up and try to play.
Put him in, coach.
So can it get any worse? I don't know.
I mean, Sue Mateo was a healthy scratch.
So I'm guessing if he's up again this week and they're playing against the Panthers, which I think that's the next one on the schedule.
Yeah,
why not give him some reps? Even if it's in the second half, just let him get out there, get his feet wet.
Hey, it's in-house. Y'all know my motto: in-house. Let the man rock. Let him go out there, get his feet wet against the Carolina Panthers.
He could very well be the starting right tackle next year.
He could. Hey, why not?
And Taylor moves to left tackle. That's what I think the Chiefs are going to do.
Why not?
So what's your grade on overall what y'all think the Chiefs learn from the learn?
Mahomes had to throw the ball better. Make better decisions with the ball, and against good offensive line, Chiefs has to get better getting pressure though. Like I said, George, to me, I expected a lot from George this game. I didn't see it. Usually Chris Jones is a dog in the fourth quarter. Didn't see it. I just feel like they should get defensive front has to get better against good teams. So
let me take a positive spin here. Here's what was great about this game. Two things developed. Xavier Worthy came out of his shell.
It's true.
And showed Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and Matt Nagy, I can take on more. I'm going to get open. And Noah Gray continues to play at a very high level of football in this offense.
50 shades.
So if you add a better development of getting your fast wide receiver the ball in areas where he can have success, as they did, and then you have Noah Gray who can pick up the slack for Travis Kelce, it just gives them more options to be able to have an offense that is going to be more productive in critical situations. To me, and I said this before, the biggest thing I learned is that Worthy can take a hit. Worthy can be that guy where he can have a 2-touchdown, 150-yard performance.
Mm-hmm.
And they've got 7 games left to get him ready for the postseason to be that guy in January and February football. And I suspect that's exactly what's going to happen. Hollywood Brown will be back in December at some point. Juju kind of got his feet wet a little bit. DeAndre Hopkins will be more into the offensive flow. They're going to be okay. The Chiefs are still playing in the AFC title game. It's still going to happen. So that's what we learned. It was a bad day at the office, and they woke up today probably a little sore, and are going to go back to work and get ready for the Panthers in a game in which they should win, in a game in which they can probably work on a few things. But, I think the Chiefs are going to be fine. But they have 2 guys now that I think they really understand they can count on offense. And that was probably some of the question mark of this offense, this season.
Yeah, I think what we learned was the margin for error is very thin.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And what we've seen, how they've been winning these games, I think, Coach, you hit on it first in terms of, owning time of possession, the long drives, and sustaining those drives. You have to be nearly perfect in your execution.
Yeah,
right.
And if you're not, that's kind of what we saw on Sunday because of the penalties, turnovers.
Yeah, Mahomes can't make up for all that himself.
He can't. Yeah, I mean, and because Worthy's still, just a young guy, you're not going to completely rely on him at this point. And to Nick's point, yeah, I mean, this was around the time that you started to see Rasheed kind of come into his own. Different player, obviously, much different size. Rasheed's just a big dude, and you can do a little bit, different things with him.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Worthy will continue to improve. Hopefully, again, negotiating the sideline is a thing of the past.
Yeah.
But yeah, the margin for error is kind of thin. But just to be able to
they do get open though.
have a threat on the outside, because you saw a lot of McCole Hardman on offense yesterday. Didn't get the ball a ton, but I think they were just trying to get as much speed on the field as possible to threaten him. Maybe get him to come out of playing man to man, go back to playing zone, and then Kelsey and D Hop could just eat their lunch, so to speak. So, the margin for error is thin for the time being. So
sure.
So what I learned from this, from the loss is, hey, don't pull the cat's tail like your grandma said, and the cat won't turn around and scratch you. So I'm putting it like this, man. If they came out who's
the cat in this scenario, Hense?
the cat is the Buffalo Bills. They played around with the cat so long, and the cat turned around and scratched them. So I'll put it like this: if they just kept the lead, kept the foot on the pedal like they did, continue to came out like they did on this drive here. Continue to play their style of ball and don't get away from it no matter what. Play your style of ball. Don't get away from it. Do you no matter what. Keep using Noah Gray. Keep using the ones that's got the hot hands. Stop switching up everybody else and let everybody to play that have the hot hands. Keep like right here. They ran the ball here. Continue to run the ball. Continue to do what you need to do. But again, I feel like if I'm the Kansas City Chiefs, or what I learned from it is that, hey, you got Noah Gray. I will put him out there. This kid is playing
that's everything. He doesn't make mistakes.
He doesn't make.
I think the best play he made, and they only showed him catching the ball in the back of the end zone. That play was designed for him to go to the front pylon, and it wasn't there. Patrick got out late, and he immediately, showing those wide receiver skills, just immediately just spun and went right to the back pylon, wide open, touchdown. So that's, I guess, kind of the skills that I was always impressed with him, because he is a former wide receiver. He's a tough as nails too. I mean, he's not maybe the best blocker, but he's a willing blocker. He'll get in somebody's face, but he has those kind of moves. And I think, again, if you need him to be that guy or to kind of move in behind Travis, God forbid he hangs it up, I think, he'd be fine.
I think we're closer to that reality.
I'm gonna say my takeaway from the game on a positive note was Worthy. Guys, can we agree that Worthy was getting busy in the first half, man?
Yeah.
I was wow. I said Worthy, and then the second half, they stopped throwing Worthy the ball. They stopped designing plays for Worthy. I was like, he is getting off. Him and Patrick Mahomes was building that chemistry in the first half. And I was impressed. I said, well, Hense, you might be right. This might be the game for Worthy. This might be it. And then you stop. You stopped the flow. I was like, what are y'all doing?
Here's the catch that
look where he's lined up in the backfield. I mean, that's impressive.
He goes right to the flat. It's not there. Bang, he spins.
Good awareness.
Touchdown.
Yeah. There are three guys you could have thrown the ball to. But anyway, listen, we're nitpicking at 9-1. And that's all right, and that's why we're fans. And
dissect it, Nick.
The Chiefs are going to be just fine.
That's
they
why you
know
lift
what they
all
need to
ways.
fix. If anybody is going to bet against Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs, it is foolish money. Don't do it. Don't do it until it's taken away from him. Otherwise.
So did the Chiefs? I'm assuming the Chiefs came back to Kansas City. It wasn't one of those we're going to stay on the East Coast.
No, they never stayed.
We'll go to the Greenbrier in West Virginia where all these other teams go.
Nope. They went home.
Hey, Spence got a good point, man. He made a good point. Worthy was eating, man. He was eating. Worthy was eating. I said, guys.
Yeah, positive signs.
It was a positive. Remember, even though he stepped out of bounds, guys, you see how open he was
all day long. He was
allowed to speak. Nick, to your point, he's been like this all season. And again, Mahomes has to deliver the ball and create that chemistry, create that bond.
You have from that wide angle, so that you got to be able to see that, because there was one example before we get out of here last night. It was a very similar situation. Burrow's like getting out of the pocket. He's getting chased down. Yoshivash breaks open at the sticks, and right as he's throwing it, Jamar Chase blows by the defense and he's gone. They're like, oh, geez, why didn't he throw it to Chase? Yeah. Well, there's a couple of guys breathing down his throat, and he saw somebody open, so he let it go. It's easy to just sit up from the top and say, oh, my God, there's Chase. You can hit that all night.
The reason the Chiefs lost is pretty simple. The Bills gave Allen that split second on 3 big pass plays
Yeah.
that resulted in huge first downs. Whereas in the Chiefs situation, those extra seconds
was negative, right?
Yeah, was just
Patrick had that
happen.
much less time to throw it.
Well, you know what I'm saying.
We didn't call Chris Jones
yeah.
name CJ name all game.
Yeah, he didn't have a great game.
That's it.
He's only got 3 sacks in the last 6 games. That's not good enough.
Remember on the last play, Chris Jones 1-on-1 had him 1-on-1, man, and he
was anywhere near him. He wasn't close to him.
Nowhere near him.
There were 2 guys, almost 3.
One thing they didn't use is the Josh Allen killer that they got from the Patriots. I don't know why they didn't put in.
He had 5 snaps defensively. That's insane.
That's insane. I was like, okay, well, it is what it is.
Hopkins only got like less than half of the offensive snaps. There's no excuse for
yeah, it was an interesting selection. How who they
for
play where,
and that's the problem, guys, because the Chiefs got so many weapons, so many good veterans and good young players on this offense. Like, who gonna get the targets? Like Kelsey didn't even have a touchdown. Usually Kelsey scores in the
2
fourth
catches for like 8 yards.
Yeah, I'm like, hey.
So that's where you as a coach say, okay, Noah Gray got a hot hand right now, so we're going to sit you down a little bit.
Well, they designed 2 plays.
He had 2 touchdowns. See, he had 2 touchdowns. Noah Gray been performing all season, guys, for real. Hey, shout out, Lou, I give you credit
when
because
when he gets his opportunity,
he produces.
He makes the most of it.
He produces, man. So
all good, guys. All right.
For our sponsors.
All right, one more time. Let's go through our sponsors. First up, Mr. Eric Haynes with the Eric Haynes Group. If you're looking for someone who can help you buy or sell a house in the greater Kansas City metropolitan area, give Eric Haynes a call today at 816-729-3785 or send him an email at esaleskc@gmail.com.
Proud sponsor of Chief Who.
Next up is my amazing wife, Emily Athan. It is open enrollment time, so if you're looking for a new health insurance plan for your family or an individual, give her a call today at 913-215-9086. She'll walk you through the process of what's available in the marketplace, plus a private option she has exclusively through United Healthcare. So call her today at 913-215-9086.
Emily.
Nikki loves.
I do. And our new sponsor we love as well is Resell Electronics.
Get the best deals on new and used electronics at Resell Electronics. TVs, laptops, Apple Watches, cameras, cell phones, plus so much more. And if you're into gaming, we carry new gen as well as vintage consoles. Resell Electronics in Independence.
That's right. Resell Electronics has 2 great locations, Nolan Road and 40 Highway. If you're looking to get rid of some of your electronics you have at home and want to get some extra cash for the holidays, or if you're looking for a great deal, check them out at their 2 great locations in Independence. You can call them at 816-886-7285, or you can check out their website, resellelectronics.com. And remember, their Black Friday sale is coming up, and they've got a lot of discounts plus a raffle. Who knows what you might win? Make sure you tell them that the guys at Chiefs Blitz and Bowtie Sports sent you.
Resell.
As I said, guys, we got Chiefs Who's coming up on Wednesday.
Word got out to Kareem. We got a sign of life. He returned my tweets.
Shout out to Kareem. He's back.
He says he's going to set his alarm. So Ken St. Clair, come on, brush it up, baby.
Yeah.
Here's your
So
chance.
with that said,
Friday, I will reveal the prize.
Okay.
It's right there behind you. That prize been collecting dust again, Nick.
Get that dust cloth out, man.
Hey, the whole show is about Nick's surprise, man. There it is. The Friday, it's a Nick show.
So with that said, guys, we'll see you guys Wednesday at 1:30. So with that said, it doesn't matter. Chiefs still the top dogs, and we still the top team. With that said, we'll see you guys Wednesday.
Hey, where the music?
Fade to black.
Fade to black.
We're out.
Oh man, it just went black. I said, well,
Yeah.
there it is. That's how you do it, I guess.